On tourism, there's been a steep drop-off in international travel to the United States. It was down 12% last month, down even more from Western Europe. Why do you think that there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United States?
Well, there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big deal. And our dollar is a little bit on the low side, and that means that a lot of tourism is going to come in. But I could see a little bit nationalism at work, and I can see it likewise with us not wanting to go to certain countries, but that will work out very easily.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
No, we treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this. And there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it.
Yikes. Tourism in the United States of America decreased 62%.
So it's interesting. I was in Florida this year not too long ago, and everything that I would hear on the news about how Canadians are avoiding the States and, tourism kind of took a hit in the States. When I went down there to Florida, it's absolutely true. Like, for example, and for context, I have family down in Florida. So, all the usual hotspots, like whether it be Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, I would know places that would get fairly busy. But there were major differences when I got there. Like, for example, at least one in every 15 cars at least would have some sort of Ontario license plate or Quebec license plate. This time around, you would hardly see any. And even some of the beaches that would normally be busy, there would be people. Honestly, it's almost a ghost town in some places, which is kind of wild. But it does make sense if you really think about it. Let's be real. For us as Canadians, when you are dealing with a president of the United States that gaslights Canadians, that tries to annex Canada in a sense, talking about the 51st state, we just don't feel welcomed. We just feel that Americans, not all Americans, but there's many Americans that just really don't like us or really don't care about us. And so why should we want to even go down there if we don't feel welcomed? But another reason that I don't think this gets talked about enough, the reality is going down to the States is way more expensive than it ever has been. You're really not getting much value for what you pay for. And you have to understand, I'm coming from the era where bus trips to Buffalo, Brooklyn, New York, Grove City, I believe, in Pennsylvania, you would go down there for a shopping trip. You would get items that you normally wouldn't get, say in Canada. You go down to the restaurant, you pay whatever, and you get a full meal. But now, it's not worth it. Even when I was in Florida, I went to Old Navy, which had a 30% sale off jeans. By the time I paid for those jeans, the price that I paid was pretty much the exact same, if not more, had I bought in Toronto. And the reality is that, listen, if you have family or you have a work situation that you have to do down in the States, yeah, it makes sense. But honestly, you're really not getting much value for the dollar that you pay for. And now, especially with this war going on, the United States is way more expensive. I don't know how you guys live, because the reality is that the prices that you guys are paying for is just ridiculous. And even for me as a tourist, I just don't see myself going down to the States anytime soon. It just feels like it's a waste of money. No offense.
Why people are not traveling to the United States.
The United States welcomes tens of millions of tourists from around the world every year. However, despite its variety of star attractions, America's tourism industry is now in decline. So why are foreign tourists turning away from the land of the free?
If I had to guess, I think it's pretty obvious that it's because of what the United States has been doing. And it seems to have really started when Donald Trump was elected for the second time, and a lot of the stuff that he has been doing for over a year now, frankly, pissing off a lot of countries, starting trade wars, and it's escalated to where he's made threats against like Greenland, Canada. Now we're at war with Iran. There's actually endless things that you could really say about what Donald Trump and the United States government has done. So that's, obviously to me what sticks out the most. So is the decline in tourism to the United States, is that just all like political, or like disagreeing with Trump and the US and people are just not happy with us and our leader? Is it that simple?
Recent data shows a worrying trend for the US tourism industry. The number of international arrivals to the US dropped by 5% in 2025 compared with the previous year.
What if the rest of the world simply stopped choosing America? Some reports suggest fewer international travelers are visiting the US, while some prospective students and tourists are considering other destinations. So the question is America losing its global appeal, or is this just temporary shift driven by politics and economics? Let's watch more clips and we'll come back to talk about it.
Why would anyone travel to the United States for the FIFA World Cup? I'm seriously asking that question. Why would any international person travel right now to the United States for the FIFA World Cup when you're watching people getting detained and shot in the face for no reason? If you were a person of any color other than pure baby powder white, you are absolutely not safe. And we've even seen if you are baby powder white, you are still not safe. Why would you take a chance coming to a country where you could be detained, locked in prison, deported to God knows where because you came to watch a soccer game? Football, sorry. Because you came to watch a football game. Why would you come to the United States to do that? I really don't understand why. The made-up FIFA World Peace Prize that Donald Trump gave, and he immediately bombed another country and stole their leader. Like, this is not a safe place. The citizens of the United States don't want to be here. Please do not come to the United States of America for the FIFA World Cup if you are not from this country. Anyone who does not have to be here should not be here. Trust me.
They are not lying about Vegas being dead, y'all. I'm a waitress on the Strip, and last year around this time, I made like $300 to $500 a day in tips. And today, I just walked home with $124.
While MAGA diehards keep chanting, "We don't care," every time someone points out the cost of Donald Trump's policies, international tourists are quietly delivering the one response that matters in Trump's America, which is they're not coming to the United States for vacations. We have new data now from the World Travel and Tourism Council. The U.S. is on track to lose over $12 billion in international travel spending this year. That's a decline of 7%. It's not because suddenly the sand on the beaches is no good. It's not because the theme parks got rid of everybody's favorite ride. It's because the rest of the world sees what the United States under Donald Trump has become: expensive, hostile, and unstable. And they're voting with their passports. Of the 184 countries surveyed, the U.S. is the only one with an absolute decline in international visitor spending. According to the WTC's CEO, quote, "The U.S. has firmly got a 'we're not open for business' sign right now." And that's correct. Germany has updated its travel advisory after several Germans were detained at the U.S. border. Canada, which used to be exempt from most of the short-term visa requirements, now has to register and submit fingerprints for any visit longer than 30 days. That's new under Donald Trump. You've got Canadian Airlines canceling routes due to declining demand. Vehicle traffic at land crossings is down significantly from Canada. So these are not anecdotes. This is an economic warning siren. The largest travel economy in the world is bleeding visitors. And MAGA's response is always, so what? We don't want sissy Europeans and liberal Canadians coming here. Well, one of the things that you have to understand is that overseas visitors spend 7 to 8 times more than domestic tourists when they come to the United States. Canadian visitors spend 3 times more than Americans when Canadians vacation in the United States, and we're losing a bunch of them. So when conservatives and right-wingers brush this off as, oh, globalists are scared and liberals are whining, they are not understanding the math. This isn't about politics. It's about dollars. It's about cities losing tourism jobs. It's about entire regional economies built on foreign travel drying up.
International travel doesn't depend on just one issue. It depends on the economy, exchange rate, visa policies, safety concerns, airline costs, and how a country is viewed around the world. When global perception change, industry feel the impact. Hotels book fewer rooms, restaurants serve fewer customers, airlines lose passengers, local businesses in tourist cities can see less revenue. Universities may also compete harder to attract international students who contribute billions of dollars to the US economy each year through tuition and living expenses. Supporters argue that protecting Americans' interests should always come before worrying about global popularity. Critics say that strong international relationships and a welcoming image are economic assets that benefit American workers and businesses. Whatever your political views are, one fact remains. The United States has long been one of the world's most visited countries, and maintaining that position depends on more than just a beautiful landmark. It also depends on confidence, stability, and international trust. Because when fewer people choose to visit, study, or invest in America, the economic effect can ripple far beyond airports and hotels. So, what do you think? Is the decline in international interest a temporary reaction to current events, or does America need to rebuild its image to the world stage? Share your thoughts in the comment respectfully, and before you go, do well to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next.